going on, guys. Apparently, there's some updates that's going on with Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, the basketball players. And it seems like a lot of other female, I don't even have to call them female, but WNBA players have an issue with Caitlin Clark because of the color of her skin. And it's nasty. They don't like her because she's white and strict. What? That's insane. Let's hear the updates that's been going on. Check out my previous video talking about it. And we're also going to get this update from Black Conservative Perspective, a channel that I really appreciate.
It all started from the national championship game. I've been dealing with this for 2 years now. And understanding, like, yeah, negative things have probably been said about me, but honestly, I'll take that because look where women's basketball is. People are talking about women's basketball, but you never would think that we'd be talking about women's basketball. People are pulling up to games. We got celebrities coming to games, sold out arenas, like just because of one single game. And just looking at that, like, I'll take that role. I'll take the bad guy role, and I'll continue to take that on.
It's not because of one game. She's a little bit wrong with that. It wasn't one single game, maybe one person, right? But she was developing a huge following. The game between you two, or the series of games that got serious between you two, did make you become a bigger star as well. All right, so I think she has some stock. That's what a lot of people forget. Caitlin Clark has some stock. But Angel Reese has a lot of stock too. She was dead ass doing the interviews and like getting co-signed by famous rappers and whatnot. So she's not as big of a star, but she is up there. It's the Magic Johnson and Larry Bird thing all over again.
I'm gonna be that, and I know I'll go down in history. I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. It's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize that.
Nah, just call it for what it is. Mm-hmm. There's one white bitch for the Indiana team who is a superstar. And is it because she stayed in Iowa, put an entire state on her back, took a program from nothing to a multiple year success story? Is it because she would go on?
I ain't going to say Angel Reese didn't get any kind of credit, or doesn't deserve any kind of credit. She became a good villain, right? And I mean that in the sense of the words of people wasn't paying attention to her. They was paying attention to Caitlin Clark. That rivalry between them boosted her stock, Angel Reese, but then also made it more entertaining for Caitlin Clark because it's like, okay, now you got a rival. People were already saying that we would love to see them play when they both end up going from college to the WNBA, right? They both can benefit from this. It's good. It's the Larry Bird and Magic Johnson.
To break the entire points record in the history of the NCAA, not just the women's record by Kelsey Plum, shout out, but also Pistol Pete Maravich's, the dude's record as well. Is there a chance that people just enjoy watching her play basketball because how electrifying she is, what she did, what she stood for, how she went about going, what she went for? Maybe. But instead, we have to hear people say that we only like her because she's white. And she's the only popular because the rest of the rookie class is doing what they're doing. Well, that's a bunch of bullshit. And we think the WNBA, more specifically, their refs need to stop trying to screw her over at every single turn. What you have is somebody special. And we're lucky she's here in India.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Once again, we got to talk about the WNBA. Who is getting a whole lot of attention. And you would think that these women would be grateful for the attention that they're getting, but it seems like they're not. They're going out of their way to show that they're hell-bent on making people hate the WNBA to the point where nobody wants to watch it, okay? I mean, the way that they're really trying to do it is they're trying to bully Caitlin Clark, the literal MVP of the league. They're trying to bully her out of the game because they, in my opinion, are jealous that she is bringing so much attention, so much money to the league. But according to them, that's not the case, right?
This is not hate. This is hoops, like any other sport that is professional at the highest level. And I hope people truly get to understand.
And I'm looking at guys like Charles Barkley, LeBron James, Stephen A., Shannon Sharp, right? Why do I point out those four guys? You have to be careful about the words that you put out there. The word hating, the word jealous, those are words, those are triggering words for women, right? Like in anything. I've been married to one, okay? I've been married to a woman for going on 15 years. And those two words, hating, especially when you're talking about—
Shut the fuck up. I know that was you. I ain't even got to look. I should send your ass back to Crenshaw P with his hot-ass coat hangers, bitch. Would you like that?
You gotta be careful with the words that you, because even though Caitlin Clark is getting physically assaulted when they're not even playing the game, You gonna hurt people's feelings with the words you use. It's like, shut up, nigga. Yeah, they are jealous. What are you talking? You gotta be careful.
Another woman or other women, those are triggering words. So you have to do a better job with that. What? They have to do a better job with that because it's not hating and it's not jealousy. It's competition. It is hating. Pat McAfee, I think he owes everyone an apology, especially Caitlin Clark. You cannot call her out of her name like that. You can't. No one could come to his defense, and it's unacceptable. At the end of the day, you have to respect the WNBA.
Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that. Okay, so according to some of the white knighters and the WNBA women and some of the analysts on sports media, the women that played in the WNBA, it's not jealousy, it's not hate. Okay, it's just ball. Okay, cheap shotting somebody on the court. It's not jealousy and hate. It's just ball. Right. This is the argument that these people are making. Jealousy. Right. This is what they're saying. So that being said, what you guys saw at the beginning of this video again is Angel Reese coming out and basically making a statement that makes me think that she is jealous because in response to a question from the media, she basically tried to say that, well, the league is not popular only because of Caitlin Clark, but also because of me and what I have contributed to this rivalry. I think that is probably the most benign way of interpreting what she's saying. Because I guess you could say that, well, because of our rivalry in college, that helped Caitlin Clark get popular and me being the villain.
No, she was already popular. She was already popular. That's crazy. He's saying the same thing I said. That's crazy. But great minds think alike. Yeah, she was the villain, right? And it did bring awareness to her. I think it did help Caitlin Clark, but not in a way of, oh, now people, no. People's already following Caitlin Clark. They were watching for her. You just made it more of an exciting match, if you get what I mean. You was a good journeyman in boxing terms. That's at least the way I was
a part of that, and I'm going to embrace that role, okay, as the villain. Now, again, that's the most benign way of looking at it. However, you can look at it in a different way and say that, well, she's low-key taking a shot at Caitlin Clark and saying that, well, it's not just her. She's not the reason why the league is popular. It's also because of me and maybe even some other players. But I just don't think that what she's saying is actually the reality of the situation because the numbers don't lie, okay? The attendance for the WNBA, when you look at non-Caitlin Clark games versus the attendance for Caitlin Clark games, it's just not comparable. Okay, as you guys can see here, the attendance for Caitlin Clark games this weekend were about 17,000, and then you look at some of the other non-Caitlin Clark games, just one of them cracked 10,000 in attendance. Okay, if you look at the attendance for the 2023 season for the Chicago Sky, which is the team that Angel Reese plays for, they average 7,241 people, fans per game. And this year, way more. They're averaging 8,247, which only is about, what, 10 to 20% increase, right, at most. But if you look here at the Indiana Fever, though, they're averaging 6.
Which goes to show you that people ain't really there for Angel Reese. She does have a fan base, right? She did jump up in notoriety, but it's not more than Caitlin. People are there to see Caitlin.
16,000 fans, almost 17,000 fans.
Always gotta be number one.
And last year, they were averaging 4,000 fans. So again, if you look at the numbers quickly show that, hey, you know, there is no real facts to back up that statement that, well, the WNBA is getting more popular because of players like her. I personally think that Caitlin Clark wasn't in the league, the WNBA would be as irrelevant as they were last year. But again, when you are hating, okay, hate and jealousy clouds your judgment, right? Facts don't matter, okay? When you...
If she was smart, she would build up that rivalry and actually get more notoriety for going back and forth on the court with Caitlin, right? If they build that up on something, they go to the championships and go at it, right? I'm telling you, nigga, yeah, she would benefit, but it can't be on this nasty, it's about your race, that, and none of that is.
You are emotional, right? And I guess that's what led to her teammate, Trinity Carter, taking that cheap shot against Caitlin Clark, and then Angel Reese deciding to celebrate a cheap shot And then after the game, when she knew she'd be asked about it, she decided not to show up to the interview, right? Again, I'm just saying, these women are making themselves very, very, very easy to dislike, okay? And they just continue to dig themselves in a deeper and deeper and deeper hole. And I'm not entirely sure why they don't realize it. I'm not entirely sure why their agents aren't in their ears saying, listen, guys, you are going to cost yourself money if you continue to go down this path that you're going on, taking these shots at Caitlin Clark. And again, I don't mind the trash talk. I don't mind the back and forth. But when you tell us, when you gaslight us really and tell us that you're not jealous, that you're not hating, but every chance you get, you're showing on the court and off the court that you are.
It's cap. She is jealous and she is hating.
Jealous and that you are hating. And then you have people like Sonny Holston, who claims to be on the board for the WNBA, coming out and confirming that, you know, there is some jealousy and hate because Caitlin Clark is white and pretty and straight. I mean, again, you are getting to the point now where it's like, okay, well, hey, a lot of people may just stop watching WNBA, especially considering how they are telling people who just started watching WNBA because of Caitlin Clark, you can't comment on the WNBA.
That's insane. Yeah. They're going to ruin the chance that they got to have an actual fan base for the whole league.
You can't have an opinion. Well, if I can't have an opinion, then why the hell should I watch? Right? I just shouldn't watch. I'm not going to support any of y'all. Okay? If I can't have an opinion, it's so funny to me. Okay. But anyways, with that being said, sparks are flying in sports media. There was this pretty fascinating debate on First Take between Monica McNutt and Stephen A. Smith. And Stephen A. Smith is going to get pissed off when Monica McNutt basically tries to go after Stephen A. Smith for commenting on the WNBA now. But
I don't know everything about him, but from what I've seen throughout the years, there's some times when he done took a stand. Like when that chick was trying to call into his damn show and tell him he can't talk. I hate that girl. She still work for ESPN? Oh, I can't stand her. What's her name? Is it Malika? Oh, I can't stand Malika, man. Let me see. I want to make sure I get her name right. I feel like it's Malika Andrews, but I could be wrong. No, that's right. I hate her. It looked like she still works for ESPN. Oh boy, do that. I really dislike her. But she didn't get a chance to run over Stephen A. Smith. He wasn't taking that.
He didn't really care.
He was not taking that
a few years ago.
We're talking about them maximizing their great potential. And because we bring that up and talk about what potentially might get in their way, which we do to men all the time, now we got to sit up here and watch every syllable. I resent that. And I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they're doing. They're basically telling men, you can't comment on this. AKA, you can't have an opinion that we don't like, which again is another stupid thing, because if I can't comment on it, if I can't have an opinion on it, then why should I watch it? Why should I watch it? Okay, I think I was listening to Mike Greenberg. I think that's his name. And he was talking about how, well, over the weekend, I saw all these people commenting on the WNBA who don't know anything about the WNBA, okay, who don't comment on sports. And I'm like, well, you sports analysts are always trying to comment on politics. You guys are always trying to comment.
This is the same thing like how people be trying to go at Eminem, or how they've been trying to attack Eminem for years just because he's white. He's not allowed to rap. Caitlin Clark ain't allowed to play basketball.
And on social issues, a bunch of things outside of sports. And as soon as somebody from outside of sports tries to comment on sports, the WNBA, all of a sudden, oh, you need to stay in your lane, right? But that doesn't apply when you got all these people like Colin Cowherd, Shannon Sharp, Stephen A. Smith. They're all trying to get into politics when their background is sports. Again, it's amazing how that works.
So let me, I know we got to go to break. Welcome to the world of being a woman, Stephen A., and how you have to dance about your word choice and you have to please everybody and anybody as you navigate your being. We are talking about the world's greatest.
How about being a black man?
Being black. Hold on 1 second.
Have you...
So this is what I'm saying to y'all, though, and I know we got to go to break.
Wow, listen to this victimhood war. Who's the victim? Is it women or black?
It's weird. I was with him when he said the man thing, right? You could say black man to extension. But let's not make it a race thing. And it's I was right. See, damn, Smith. I was right.
Well, I mean, she's going to win that.
You got this dude. That wasn't even him. That was Unk, right? Shay. How about being black? Hey, my nigga, come on. All right. What kind of conversation we having now?
Because
I'm not with the race war shit.
And she's a woman, right? So she has two infinity stones of wokeness. You're not going to out victimhood a black woman, okay? That's not even a good.
Hold on, let me see. He says, send me something for a couple of reactions. Got you. We're gonna do that one right after this one. I just noticed it when once we was already into this one, but I got you. We're gonna knock out all those reactions back to back directly after this video. And thank you for the support. I really do appreciate it. I got you. Thank you for the support. Real talk. I got you.
Good point. For Shannon Sharp and Stephen A to bring up. But again, I think they're frustrated because, again, she's just not understanding what they're saying, which is that, hey, it was wrong. And we're trying to tell you guys what's the best thing for the league, right? The best thing for the league is not to unnecessarily hurt Caitlin Clark because it's going to damage the careers and the money earning potential for all the women in the league. But again, these women, they don't want to listen, right? They don't want to listen. They want to go out of their way to mental gymnastics their way through trying to justify what happened. Okay, this is what they're trying to do.
You know, I'm Team Jesus all day, man.
Water, but you can't make me drink it. That's essentially what's happening
for Jesus.
And we didn't necessarily go there. Maybe we should. There are so many layers in this conversation around the way that it's being discussed. When you no. And yes, Shannon, I know y'all are going to say and Stephen A, I know you're going to. You just shared that you've talked about the WNBA on your program too. You guys may not have said everybody, but the prevailing sentiment for folks that are just joining the WNBA and following women's sports is unfair to the women of this league, to your point, who have laid the groundwork for Caitlin Clark to come in and now take it to the next level. That's all I'm saying in these conversations. Kennedy Carter's behavior is not indicative of the entire league. We are still talking about competition where you are allowed to get a little extra elbow in if you are competing and you do it within the parameters of the game. The game is physical. Caitlin is helping to grow the league. These women understand that, but she cannot be babied as a rookie. That's all I'm at.
Fam, that wasn't even in play. The ball wasn't in play, bro. That wasn't a little elbow on the way to try to get the ball. She just ran up to her and bumped her. Like, that's crazy. Knocked her down. That's different. She's not being
nobody's saying that. Literally, nobody's saying that. They keep trying to redirect the conversation to talk about something that nobody's talking about. Nobody's talking about Caitlin Clark taking a hard foul in the course of play, right? Like, while actually playing basketball. What they're talking about is a cheap shot. That's what people are talking about. But again, they want to direct the conversation away from that because they believe that people are trying to say, oh, well, you can't touch Caitlin Clark at all. You must let her score. And that's not what people are saying.
Yeah,
but again, they don't want to really address
but they're trying to move the whole conversation because they don't want no one to take accountability for what they actually are doing. Right? Like, yes, Caitlin is bringing more awareness to the sport and people are envious and jealous and trying to take her out because of this.
The fact that cheap shot was probably motivated by jealousy and hate. Okay. I definitely think that if it wasn't Caitlin Clark, that cheap shot doesn't happen, at least not the way that it happened. Because again, a lot of these people, they're trying to say, well, Caitlin Clark is a trash talker, as if trash talk justifies a cheap shot. It doesn't. It doesn't at all.
All right.
Who talks about the WNBA? Who talks about women? Who talk about women's sports more than First Take?
Stephen A, respectfully, with your platform, you could have been doing this 3 years ago if you wanted to.
Oh my gosh. Oh my God. So it's not even, we're grateful for you to bring attention and light and for you to actually be talking about it, but it's you should have did it forever ago. It wasn't interesting forever ago. I got to call a spade a spade. I got to. It was not this interesting forever ago. Like, you got to stop. Right? I hate that. Like, yes, be grateful for the attention you're getting now and just use it. Stop being bitter.
Wow.
All right, we gotta go. You guys.
So,
you know you're my guy, but
who does more?
Stephen, I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you.
Wow.
He's asking who does more. Why? Yo, she is terrified to answer a question directly. And he's talking to you. He asked you a question and you're running from it.
Do that. I'm talking to you about the power that you have.
Okay.
That's crazy.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Don't do it no more.
I got
You're my guy, but I'm talking to you.
I got
guys, I really appreciate
you're my girl, but you've missed a lot of episodes of First Take. You missed a lot.
Stephen, 3 years ago, you would not talk about the W at this level. Don't do that.
Guys.
Nobody wants Monica. You making Stephen A's point, Monica. Monica, you making Stephen A's point.
Please let me do my job. Please let me do my job. We've gone for 40 minutes straight. It was a riveting discussion. I have to get
I ain't going fam, man. Ain't no you my boy nothing. That sound like bitterness and entitlement. You should have talked about us more. You're lucky he talked about you at all. Nobody's watching that shit. I went to a game. I won tickets, had nosebleeds, and because it was so empty, I went and was courtside. And no one said nothing because no one else wanted to be there. It was literally just me and a group of people. It was like an entire thing. Maybe like one person on the side. He didn't want to even come up. Like, it was crazy.
Stephen A got hurt by that way. But this conversation doesn't stop on First Take. Stephen A went to his own platform to discuss this situation, and he admits that, the WNBA is only as popular as it is today because of Caitlin Clark. And also he makes the point that, it's because of men giving you women opportunities, right? That is the reason for the WNBA being popular as well, too.
You ever heard of Monica McNutt? You have now, because she's on First Take a lot. Shanae Ogumake, absolutely wonderful, spectacular basketball analyst, et cetera, WNBA player in her own right. Ask her how it's been to be on First Take. How about Andrea Carter?
Yeah, they trying to discredit.
Who's a rising star in this business.
That's crazy.
How much do you think First Take helped that? What about Kimberly Moore?
He's naming WNBA players that, like you saying, we don't know. Right? Most of us don't know. But the only reason why a lot of people that's heavy into basketball might be aware of them is because he allows them to come on his platform, right, and actually speak. So the fact that she's saying that he hasn't done enough for women's sports or WNBA is nasty as hell. It's disgusting. So that's pretty much what he's pointing out.
Molly Qerim herself?
I'm right where you at, right? Like, most of the stuff I watch I like fighting sports. Like, I like mixed martial arts, right? Boxing, bare knuckle, right? I'll be watching karate combat sometimes, right? Don't ask me nobody's names. I just be turning it on and sitting there and watching it. What else? I'll be watching some wrestling tournaments as well, right? Like collegiate wrestling, right? So I'm into combat sports. So I'm right where you at, where if it wasn't for the whole Caitlin Clark situation, I wouldn't know none of these WNBA players. Not a single one.
Now, I have sat back for years and taken a lot of shit from people. Some who don't know what the hell they're talking about. Some who act like they don't know just because they want to get at me. I could care less about people getting at me. I just want you to be accurate. And it is highly offensive to me when somebody implies or flat out states, like Monica McNutt did this morning, which was factually incorrect.
Yeah.
I challenge anybody to find a show in sports television that discusses women issues, that discusses the WNBA or women's sports, that highlights and profiles female analysts more than First Take. Some of the players, you want to use the word jealousy, fine. You want to use the word envy, fine. You want to use the word resentment. We want to play with words. That's cool. It's something. And I think that some of the ladies, not all, but some of the ladies in the WNBA are missing the point. And the point is, this girl right here is a box office attraction. And because of her box office attraction, it's generating more eyeballs to the WNBA product, therefore more revenue for the WNBA product. Don't you think y'all are going to benefit from that too?
Yes.
Look at the big picture.
Smart. Yeah, if they're smart, yes. Is that they want a bigger piece. They want to be number one, not realizing even if you number 17, you going to eat. You got to be a bum to not benefit off of Caitlin Clark entering the WNBA. This is facts. It's like when females were hating on Ronda Rousey when she was in MMA and joined the UFC. Meanwhile, after she done got knocked out multiple times and not even fighting no more, it's like 4 different weight classes for females in UFC that's still ongoing. Maybe 3, I think now. I haven't watched in a while. I know Amanda Nunes retired her belt, but there's a lot of weight classes for females and they in there scrapping, right? And that's all for Ronda Rousey's back. As much as I don't even like her as a fighter, right? But to hate on that was crazy. It's the same thing with Caitlin. We don't know what her career is going to do, but the attention she's bringing can help your career.
That's what I was talking about when I was talking about it this morning on my day job, First Take on ESPN every weekday morning from 10 a.m. to 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. A rising tide raises all boats.
Yeah, they don't understand that, Stephen A., and they don't want to understand it, right? Because they don't want to accept the reality, which is that, hey, your league is being kept afloat by one player and one player only. It's not Angel Reese. It's not all these other people. It's not Angel Wilson. It's not any of these people they want to talk about. And that is the reality. And I'm not even going to say it's an unfortunate reality. It's a fortunate reality because, honestly, they should be grateful. They should be thankful, and they should be taking advantage of the fact that, hey, more eyes on the league. We're going to get more people watching. And then maybe
Misha was your favorite.
These other stars who have been underserved, according to them. I don't think they have been underserved. I think that people are watching because, again, the level of play is just not that good. So it is what it is. Okay. I think that this is how the market works, and you got to respect how the market works. Again, except when it comes to women, though, right? They need subsidies. They got to be supported by men. But then they'll turn around and trash men for commenting on a sport that men are subsidizing, right? Which is the case with the WNBA, right? They want to say, oh, well, you haven't been watching the WNBA for years. You can't comment.
So what?
Okay.
Do you want us to watch or not? This is making me not want to watch. I'll tell you that much.
Guys only want to talk about Caitlin Clark. Well, the reason why is because she brings in the ratings. It is what it is. But again, Stephen A's point. Yeah, a rising tide does lift all boats, but these women seem to be hell-bent on trying to not make that happen, right? They don't want it to happen. And I think is at the point now where some people just don't believe that fire burns. At some point, you can show people better than you can tell them. So is at the point now where I'm like, well, hey, just let them keep doing what they're doing, right? Let them keep bullying Caitlin Clark. And when Caitlin Clark gets injured, okay, which will probably happen as a result of the cheap shots if they keep doing it. So. I doubt they're going to keep doing it the way they're doing it, based off the backlash. But regardless, just let them have it their way. If that's what they want to do, let them do it. But if it just so happens that Caitlin Clark gets injured, Lord forbid that happens, and people stop watching WNBA, all of a sudden these women are taking commercial flights, sitting in the economy at the back of the plane with all us normal people. I don't want to hear no boohoo whining and crying. I don't want to hear no complaining. I don't want to hear nothing. Because remember, you guys told us, you said it's not just her, it's everybody else, right? It's all these other women. They're the reason why the WNBA is so popular. It's not just her. Okay. So again, they want to test this theory out. Crazy. If they want to test it out, I say, hey, let's test it out, right? Since you guys are the ones that are so great. Okay. I also say, look, I think that the NBA should stop subsidizing the WNBA. Since you can do it on your own and you don't want men commenting on.
Yeah, facts. Men can't even comment. Yeah, do it your own. Do it on your own completely. It's all you. You got this.
The sport and people that didn't watch the WNBA before, I say just let the WNBA sink or swim. Remove all the subsidies that the WNBA gets from the NBA. And if, Lord forbid, Caitlin Clark gets hurt, okay, again, let's see what happens. Let's put the theory to the test if that's what they want to do, because they don't want to listen. They don't want to listen to people telling them, look, y'all might want to chill out on Caitlin Clark. You might not want to get in a position where she gets unnecessarily hurt and people boycott the WNBA and you lose all the progress that you made. No. They think that they can do it on their own and they don't need all these people that just started watching the WNBA because of Caitlin Clark. If that's the way they feel, hey, I say we put the theory to the test, right? Put the theory to the test, because there's just some people you can't tell them anything. Okay, you can't tell anything. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe and support the show.
Let's test out the theory. Let's test it out. Why not? Nah, he was cooking. People want to, talk all that crap. You've been complaining about how men don't support it, and when men support it, now we can't even talk. That's insane. But tell me what you think down in the comment section.